All right, and let's wrap it up
Shall we?
with the last topic
Yep.
of the day. So this one is a bit more specific. Currently, for those that are listening, me, Turbo, and Brian, we're in a Dynasty League together. So we're starting to enter the second half and the last bit of the season. So we have to start preparing for our Dynasty keepers. So this question for the week is inspired by that setting. But obviously, like this is something for people that are preparing to play fantasy next year as well. So we're going to talk about some early predictions for breakout stars for next year. So this is also, I guess you could think of it as a call it edition, but we're going to talk about people that we think are going to do well next year, whether it's because they're going to be traded or the team situation may be maybe a bit different.
Mhm.
So I'll kick it off first. I think Jarrett Allen is actually my pickup, and it's funny that we talked about him already in Brian's segment. But I think he's in perfect position to do really, really well. And what I like about Jarrett Allen, I totally did not expect this, was that he can shoot threes. I've never seen him shoot threes before. And even though we talked about how he's like a kind of like a traditional center, he'll actually take the three if he's like open for it. And one big thing to note, even if you aren't in a keeper league, if you can keep him, that'd be great. But this year, his average draft pick was 110. He went in like the late 9th round, 10th round when he was on the Nets. So I predict that next year he will at least be a 5th round pick, maybe plus or minus 1 round. So definitely don't let him drop. You have to make sure that you scoop him. And I think like overall, this is probably what Cleveland, if this is what they were hoping from Andre Drummond, this is like the real Andre Drummond center that they were hoping for. He may not be, he may not get rack up like the 1.5 steals that Andre Drummond was getting, but he is definitely the double monster that they wanted, because like you guys said, on offense, he's way more disciplined as a traditional center. He won't do like all those, cross skyhook shots. Very disciplined, and that explains his 66 field goal percentage. So I'm hoping that, of course, I think he'll do good in the rest of this year's season, but next year, if Cleveland can pick up a better wing player so they have a bit more balanced team, because CD Osman is not their small forward. I think Cleveland will have a good year next year.
Yeah, agreed. Because when I was, brainstorming, I was thinking of Jarrett Allen being a breakout player in the second half and also for next year as well. So.
Flatter. I'm very happy to hear that. I hope you guys don't just jinx him. I think I think this is a very interesting topic because it actually works into next year of our league, and we're just looking ahead. And there's actually quite a lot of players that I want to put. I want to put on this podcast, but this guy, he's actually a very conventional pick because this is his rookie season, and I feel like next year he's going to explode. He's this year first overall pick, Anthony Edwards. Oh. So let's look back at his college stats. So as a freshman in college, he was averaging 19 points, 5 rebounds, close to 3 assists with 1.3 steals, but he also made 2.3 per game, made 2.3 threes per game. I mean, as a college with 1.3 steal as a freshman, that's really impressive. That's kind of equivalent to, because college they play a lot harder defense. They're more disciplined on the defensive end and less offense. So if he can do that, I think next year he can average with 1.5 steals. So he's going to be pretty much putting up pretty much like his college stats. He's the crazy thing about him is he's like a he's like a he's like a slimmer version of Zion Williamson, who can shoot as well. He can shoot from threes, from mid range, and he's freakishly athletic. So look out for him. He is gonna be a keeper. Yeah,
I think he's in the perfect situation to Minnesota， 因為除咗 Karl-Anthony Towns 同埋就成日會傷嘅 D'Angelo Russell 之外 they need a lot of scoring, and I think Anthony Edwards can provide the exact same thing, like exactly what they need. So yeah, I think with the right opportunity, right growth, he can definitely be a breakout player next year. All right, I guess for me, okay, my pick for breakout player next year. Next year is going to be his third year. He went to college in Kentucky. Okay. This player this year averaged 14, 6, and 2 in 29 minutes. And it's already up from his rookie year, which he averaged 9, 3, and 1 in 17 minutes. But I think there's much more growth to this player next year because of the increased opportunity that he'll get. So this player is a 6'5" small forward, power forward, and he's from the San Antonio Spurs, Kelden Johnson. So right now, the reason why I picked him was obviously what on the stat line that I mentioned about him this year is that if you look at San Antonio,佢哋冇乜big men. LaMarcus Aldridge, which is one of their go-to big men for a long time, he's already 34 and he's off injured this year, and I don't see San Antonio bringing him back next year. So除咗 Aldridge 之外，係得 Jacob Portal is their only other big men that they've actually used quite often. So they're very thin in the front court. So that's why I think Kelden Johnson will get a lot of opportunity next year. So please keep an eye out on him next year. This year in our fantasy draft, he wasn't even drafted. So I think next year, if he's available in the 8 to 7 or 8th round, then definitely try to scoop him up.
Is that the only reason why you wanted to mention Kelden Johnson, Brian? Is there any other reason?
Is that it? We're gonna wrap it up for tonight. This week's episode.
Sir. All right. So thank you guys for listening. Hopefully, so we'll revisit some of our call it editions, and hopefully we get those picks right, and that'll help you guys with your fantasy league. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys next week. Enjoy the All-Star game.